friendly confines of St. John Arena on the campus of Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. Tonight it's Big Ten basketball with the Ohio State Buckeyes hosting the Gophers from Minnesota. Good evening, I'm Big John Wharf, along with Scott Wallace and Larry Bolden. And tonight, well, we'll try to make it 5 in a row in front of a full house hometown crowd in Columbus. And so tonight the Buckeyes will go with Ramsey and Scott again at the guards, Williams, Smith, and Kellogg on the backside, and the first substitutions underneath for Ohio State will be Ellinghausen on the deep side, and out front either Marcus Miller or Larry Huggins from Canadian Hutton, Indian Valley South. And quickly we'll give you the starting lineups now for the Gophers of Minnesota. Mark Hall, a 6'2" sophomore, and Trent Tucker, a 6'5" sophomore, will start at the guard positions for Minnesota. In the middle, Gary Holmes, 6'10", 221 pounds, also a sophomore. And at the forward positions, Zebedee Howell, a 6'7" freshman, and the mainstay, or the nucleus of this ball club, Kevin McHale, 6'11", 230 pounds, a senior. He'll wear number 44 tonight. And so Minnesota, under their head coach Jim Dutcher, starting a freshman, 3 sophomores, and 1 senior. And coming off the bench for Minnesota, underneath will be a big fella, Randy Brewer, 7'2", 210, a freshman. He sees considerable action for the Gophers. Tossed by the official, and the tip is controlled by Ohio State. Kellogg has it, takes it into the corner to Carter Scott. He's got one off the glass up and in. Basket by Carter Scott, and the Buckeyes break on top 2-0.
Excellent pass by Clark Kellogg there, John.
Trent Tucker in the backcourt brings it down against the Buckeyes' full court pressure. Carter Scott picks him up. They go underneath to their favorite target. McHale back out front to Holmes. He's got a jumper up, no good. Rebound, Carter Scott. Pass down to Herbie Williams. And we got a whistle and a foul. It's going to be on Minnesota. Number 24, Mark Hall, is called for a personal foul.
Missed that one now, first.
It's foul shot by Williams is up and good. The Buckeyes break on top 3-0. Picked up by Kelvin Ramsey. Hall makes a move down the lane, takes it back out front to Holmes. Into the corner, near side Tucker. Back out front to Howell. Howell round the horn, into the corner to Gary Holmes, the big pivot man, way out on the right wing down the lane. Nobody's got Tucker's got a shot up, no good. Off the glass, rebounded by Tucker himself. Minnesota still in control. Tucker misses a shot in close, but comes up with his own rebound. Minnesota sets to go into the pivot to McHale. McHale has the ball stolen away by Herb Williams, or a combination of Smith and Williams, and the Buckeyes have it. Kelvin Ramsey brings it down and will set things up top of the key. 2-3 zone defense employed by Minnesota, and they know how to play it, believe me. Into the pivot intended for Jimmy Smith, but just got through his hands and then off his leg and out of bounds. Pretty good pass by Williams as the two big fellas, Williams and Smith, trying to do a little work in a double pivot, but it did not pan out. With the ball, down comes Minnesota into the corner far side. It goes to Howell. Back out front and around the horn. It ends to Tucker. Tucker's deep right side into McHale in a pivot. Turnaround jumpers up. Whistle and a foul. It'll be on Jimmy Smith. Smith has drawn the duty of checking Kevin McHale. That time he is called for a personal foul.
Big John, that was what I want to say, Big John, is that this is a good matchup between Kevin McHale and Jim Smith. It frees Herbie Williams for rebounds, and it lets Big Jim play the toughest offensive man on Minnesota's team.
So Minnesota not yet on the scoreboard. McHale now with a 2nd and 2. This one is up long, no good. Rebound, Kellogg, Ohio State. He'll bring it himself. Long pass down court to Ramsey. He's got a jumper up, in and out, no good. Tip underneath by Herb Williams, but finally controlled by Minnesota. Long pass down court by Gary Holmes. It's broken up by Carter Scott. Scott will bring it down. Takes it into Kelvin Ramsey. The ball's loose. Picked up by Minnesota. They're going to bring it. Oh! There is the shot. An attempted shot by Mark Hall. And going up, he lost control of it. The ball went, I'd say, 30 feet into the stands. Over the backboard and into the stands. And the fans got a big kick out of it. Minnesota had a little trouble getting on the scoreboard.
Warm here, John. Give your sweaty palms do that.
Ramsey brings it down, goes to Carter Scott left side to the baseline. No, he'll bring it back out front. Kelvin, top of the key now to Kellogg, right side. Back to Kelvin, jump shot, foul line, got it. Kelvin Ramsey just behind the foul line straight away, and we lead it 5-0.
A lot of pressure from Minnesota, John, but the Buckeyes shouldn't be able to handle it tonight. They're Gophers scoreless.
Tucker brings the ball down, goes into the corner far side to Mark Hall. Hall making a move along the baseline, got a shot up. Oh, he loses it out of his hand. Second time in a row. Here come the Buckeyes. Fast break. Carter Scott. Basket by Carter Scott. And Gophers want timeout. The Buckeyes have got it all together tonight. Ohio State 7, Minnesota nothing. We'll be back in 1 minute. Ohio State with full court pressure, and in the backcourt with a basketball, Mark Hall will get it across against Carter Scott. Hall makes a move out front. In on the far side. Now it goes to Zebedee Howe underneath. McHale is open, puts the shot up, but it is blocked. It is blocked before he got it above his head by Kelvin Ramsey. So Ramsey dropping off his man, batted the ball away from Kevin McHale. Looked like he might have an easy one. Underneath, Mark Hall will inbound the basketball for Minnesota. Way out front. Top of the key now, it goes to Trent Tucker. Tucker makes a move right side, but he'll have to come back out front to Hall. Near side, it goes to Zebedee, back out front. Ball batted away, picked up by Carter Scott. He's not going to get it. Minnesota now coming back, trying to get back into this ball game, or get started anyway. They have not yet gotten on the scoreboard. Into McHale, turnaround jumpers up. They've got one. Kevin McHale on a feed by Trent Tucker. Little turnaround jumper about 10 feet away over Herb Williams. Williams had that assignment that time. 7-2. Buckeyes lead it by 5 as Ramsey brings it down. Near side to Kellogg. He'll take the jumper. Up in. Basket by Kellogg, and it is from the right side in pretty good distance, maybe 20 feet. 9-2. Buckeyes by 7. Hall again down for Minnesota. Into the corner, baseline Tucker. He's got a jumper up, going to be way long, no good. Rebound by Kellogg, and then the ball batted out of bounds by the big fella Kevin McHale. Ohio State will get it.
John, the Buckeyes are playing with a lot of confidence tonight.
Ramsey brings it down for Ohio State. Near side to Kellogg, same place he popped the last one. Now around the horn, it ends up to Carter Scott. Baseline, first time Herbie Williams is at it. Passes it off to Jimmy Smith. Puts it up, blocked by Kevin McHale. Good block. Hall on the fast break, going to take it himself. Double teamed, and the ball batted out of bounds by Carter Scott. Carter Scott coming back to help Kelvin Ramsey on the very quick 6'2" guard Mark Hall of Minnesota. Score remains 9-2. Looked like Jimmy Smith might have had an easy one, but Kevin McHale came from nowhere to slam it down court. Minnesota with a basketball, way out front, Mark Hall. Near side, the basketball to Tucker. Back out front to Holmes. Holmes has got a jumper up and in. Holmes, who schedules at the center position at 6'10", popped that one up from just to the left of the foul line. 9-4. Buckeyes still have the 5-point margin. Kellogg penetrates inside, then kicks it back out front to Kelvin, and it's batted away. Picked up by Minnesota. Here come the Gophers. They're going to have a fast break. It's up and in. Basket scored by Trent Tucker. Tucker and Hall both down on that fast break, and Tucker gets the 2. 9-6, and the Buckeye lead is cut to 3, and they've had a couple of turnovers that we don't need. Ramsey now into Carter Scott in the pivot. Jimmy Smith is open, 6 feet away, puts it up and in. Pretty good pass from Carter Scott. Found Jimmy Smith inside the foul line. He just went straight up and fired it through. 11-6, Ohio State by 5 once again. As Minnesota brings it down, Hall on the far side to Gary Holmes. Holmes spending a lot of time out away from the hole. Now to Tucker out front. The Buckeyes have used the man-to-man from the start of this one. Minnesota has been in the zone. Into the pivot. Kevin McHale's got a turnaround up. No. It's a semi-hook shot that was good, but traveling was called prior to the shot. No basket. And the Buckeyes will get it at three-quarter court. Minnesota, however, in the last couple of minutes playing on even terms. Kelvin Ramsey out front to the foul line. Takes the lob pass underneath to Herbie Williams. He's got it up and in. Good feed by Kelvin. Easy basket inside for Herbie Williams.
Kelvin Ramsey going for 76 consecutive 10-plus game, 10-point-plus game in this contest, John.
And still not yet in the scorebook. Oh, yeah, he hit the one jumper. He's got 2 tonight so far. 13-6, Buckeyes by 7 out front now. Tucker with a basketball for Minnesota. Into the left side, it goes to Howell. Howell into the pivot. Turnaround. McHale's got it up. Off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound underneath, taken by Zebedee Howell, and he puts it back up and in. Howell, just a freshman, 6'7", strong-looking kid, 204 pounds. 13-8, Minnesota stays close. Buckeyes bring it down with Ramsey out front. Near side to Carter Scott, takes it along that right baseline. Underneath, Herbie Williams. He's got a jumper up, way short, no good. Kevin McHale rebound. Outlet pass down court to Hall, but they're going to hold it up. Buckeye defense back pretty good, pretty quickly. Tucker, near side. It comes to Gary Holmes. Holmes back out front, top of the key to Howell. Howe in on the left side again to Tucker. Tucker makes a move to the foul line. Underneath, all by himself is Zebedee Howe. I think he got away from Clark Kellogg, and he gets 2 uncontested. Buckeyes 13, Minnesota 10, and we see a couple of substitutes up off the Minnesota bench.
Caught Kellogg napping on that last play.
Ramsey brings it down near side to Scott. Scott's going to make a move, tries to bounce one into Herbie Williams, and McHale with a good left foot kicks it out of bounds. The new guards into the basketball game, Carl Dale and Darrell Mitchell for the Minnesota Gophers. And Hall and Tucker will take a rest. Buckeyes have the basketball. Again, they go inside to Herbie Williams. He's got a shot up, no good. Tipped by Kelvin, no good. Well, they have called offensive interference by Ramsey, but it will make no difference. The ball did not go in on either occasion, on the shot or on the tip. And the basketball now to the Minnesota Gophers. They'll bring it up, and a basket by them now could draw them within 1. It is 13-10 Ohio. Pass on the near side to Zebedee Howe. Into the pivot, it goes to Holmes. He's got a jumper up, no good. Kevin McHale on the rebound, back up and in. That time Herb Williams had position, but the ball bounced way out, and McHale got it and then just laid it back up and in. McHale now with 4 points. 13-12. Buckeyes lead by 1 and have the basketball, but they have been in a little bit of an offensive drought. Inside, Jimmy Smith. He's open. He got another feed from Carter Scott. Same place, about 8 feet away, straight ahead, and he cans it. We're back up by 3, 15-12. Dale brings it down for Minnesota. On the far side, they give us to Darrell Mitchell. Dale gets it right back, and now to Howe. Into the pivot, McHale. Over the back, Herbie Williams. Inbounds passes to McHale, deep left corner. Now back out front, it comes to Carl Dale. Dale checked by Ramsey. Into the corner to Howell, back out front, round the horn, ends up in the far side now to Mitchell. Mitchell to McHale underneath. Beautiful drop-off pass to Gary Holmes, who was wide open. And again, they're working their double pivot pretty nicely, and they're coming up with an easy shot. Minnesota within 1 on a Holmes basket in close. It is 15-14. Ramsey brings it down. Now comes near side to Scott. Carter goes to Kellogg. Kellogg in that deep right corner will bring it back out front. Ramsey now top of the key, looking inside. Minnesota in a zone defense, and they are famous for that zone. Back out front to Kellogg. Way to beat that zone is to beat it down court and get some of the easy snowbirds. But right now, we're trying to work the ball around and penetrate, and we're not doing much with it. As I say, that jump shot taken from the baseline, no good. Rebound, Jimmy Smith, whistle and a foul. It is on Kevin McHale. McHale pushing off. McHale's first personal.
It's the largest team the Buckeyes have faced this year.
Good size, and they got the great player in McHale. Inside, they go to Herbie Williams. Carter Scott on the feed, and a whistle and a foul underneath.
Might have been McHale again.
Call this one on number 30, Darrell Mitchell. Mitchell picks up his first personal foul. This time, Williams will go to the line to shoot a pair. Is a good one from that range. Both foul shots by Herb Williams up and good, and Ohio State goes on top 17-14. Mitchell is fouled by Carter Scott. Even though they pick up full court, they drop off quickly. Bring it down into the corner, far side. It goes to Mitchell. Oh, my golly, he takes a 20-foot jumper and misses it by 5 feet. Rebound to Kellogg. Here we come. 3-on-2, Carter Scott. Jump shots up. No, a little long. Rebound underneath, controlled by Minnesota. Boy, they get up after it now. I want you to know that. That rebound came to Darrell Mitchell, a 6'4" guard. Into the corner, far side. It goes to Holmes. Into the pivot, McHale, whistle, and a foul. Let's see who it's on.
Looks like Kelvin.
That'll be on Kelvin Ramsey. Foul shot by McHale, by the way. First one is good. Second one was up. It is also good. And again, Minnesota draws within 1. Buckeyes lead at 17-16. 10 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. First half of play. On the drive, Kellogg puts a shot up, no good. Rebound by the big fella Brewer at 7-2, so he makes his presence known immediately. Minnesota with a basket here could go ahead for the first time tonight. 10 minutes now on the clock as we get into the back half of this first half. With the ball out front, Carl Dale penetrating, goes into the baseline to Mitchell and gets the ball right back. Cross-court pass, Mitchell in along the baseline. Kevin McHale, he'll take the jumper. No, takes it underneath the Brewer. Puts the shot up. It's blocked by Herbie Williams. We have a whistle and a foul. It is on Jimmy Smith. And a long lob pass way out near the 10-second line will start the clock. 17-16, Buckeyes on top. Minnesota with the basketball could go on into the lead. Long jump shot way out front by Trent Tucker, who just came back into the ball game, along with Ellinghausen in that deal. His 4th point. And Minnesota has gone on top after trailing 7-0. They have now maneuvered their way into an 18-17 lead. Buckeyes bring it down. Carter Scott falls down. Ball is loose, picked up by Kellogg and lost to Minnesota. Kind of a combination between Kellogg and Carter Scott. Minnesota with a basketball, drive down the lane. They go to Brewer. He's got a shot up, no good, but a 3-second violation is called.
Since the early part of the game, the Buckeyes did not play the same basketball game. They lost a lot of intensity out there.
No doubt about it. They started very strong, and now the coaches on the Buckeye bench are becoming a little concerned and putting their heads together. Buckeyes, Clark Kellogg in the deep corner, brings it back out front to Kelvin, near side to Carter Scott. Kelvin gets it right back. Ramsey to Kellogg. Kellogg throws it away. Picked off by Brewer. Wait a minute, we'll have to wait and see. He lost it out of bounds. Kellogg tried to force the ball inside to Herb Williams. Brewer stepped. I think we're going to have to get him involved in offense here before long.
John, I talked to him before the game, and he told me he was going to take a lot of shots tonight.
Well, he's already let 11 and a half minutes go by, and I think he's had 2 towards the hoop. Minnesota brings it down. Buckeyes lead now 19-18 on the 2 fouls by Herb Williams. Buckeyes are now in a zone defense for the first time tonight, into a 2-3 zone with Williams, Ellinghausen, steal out front. Kellogg has it and throws it away. Intended for Kelvin Ramsey, but a little bit too much of a lead by Kellogg, and nobody could get to it. The Buckeyes are in a zone defense, first time tonight. 1-3-1 zone Buckeyes. Minnesota brings it down, 19-18 the score. Way out front, top of the key now, Mark Hall, who is back into the game. Both starting guards now back in for Minnesota. Near side, give to Mitchell, makes a drive, ball loose, batted away, loose on the floor, going to be picked up underneath by Minnesota, and they'll bring it back out front. And so the Buckeyes appeared to have the ball, but then lost it right back to them. In the corner, long jumper, Tucker hits it. Trent Tucker, the deep right corner, 20 feet away, hits his 6th point of the evening, and it is 20-19. Ohio State is now in arrears by 1.
He did it himself tonight.
With the basketball out front, Ramsey takes it on the far side to Kellogg. Kellogg makes a move to the baseline, pops one up, no good. Hit by Ellinghausen, back up and in. Excellent. Basket by Ellinghausen. 21-20, Buckeyes back on top, and we see Huggins off the Ohio State bench. Purdue brings it down. Mitchell out front, goes into the corner to Kevin McHale. Underneath to the big fella Brewer's got a shot up. We got a whistle. We'll have to wait and see. It is on Kellogg. It looked like Brewer may have lost a little bit of his balance inside and almost fell into Kellogg, but Clark is called for the personal. Brewer will go to the line, and at 7'2", he'll be looking down at the hoop when he shoots this foul shot. Was 3/4 of the way in the hoop and then popped out. No good. Next one is up and in. 21-21. We're deadlocked with 7 minutes remaining in this first half. It is 21-21, and there's a time on the court. We'll be back with more from St. John Arena in Columbus right after this word. AD and a new football coach. Buckeyes bring it down. Huggins with the ball on the far side goes to Kellogg in the left corner. Kellogg back out front to Huggins over to Ramsey. Ramsey's got a jumper up. A little bit long. No good. It looks so good he didn't follow it. Picked up by Minnesota. Mitchell brings it down for the Gophers. Into the corner, far side to Zebedee Howell, and then back out front. Way out front, top of the key now to Mark Hall. Hall, Mitchell to Kevin McHale on the left side now, and then back around the horn. The Buckeyes are shooting the zone at Minnesota, and they have them a little befuddled at this point in time. Into the corner, far side, Trent Tucker. Tucker on the dribble brings it way back out front. Ohio State utilizing a 1-3-1 zone, and right now it's got Minnesota thinking. Into the pivot, the big fella McHale, not going to do anything with it. Looked to Brewer and then brought it back out front. In along the baseline, man is open. Is Tucker's got a shot up and in. I check it, it is not Tucker. Mark Hall on the basket. Minnesota 23 and the Buckeyes 21, and they worked that zone for about a 12-foot jumper. Hall the man to catch it. Buckeyes bring it down. Ramsey will go to work against the Minnesota 2-3 zone. So we got zones at both ends right now. Kellogg, jump shot, up, in and out, no good. Rebound underneath, Herbie Williams, back up, off the rim, no good. Hit by Kellogg, no good. Buckeyes have 3 shots at it, can't get it to go. Minnesota gets it out and brings it down quickly. Mark Hall in the corner, now back out front. Hall with a basketball. Goes to Tucker. Tucker lets one from 20 feet go, no good. Rebound Ramsey. Here come the Buckeyes, and we kick it out of bounds. I think Ellie got in the way for a minute. Kelvin was going at about 110, and he had to hold up momentarily, and he kicked the ball out of bounds. And so we've got another Buckeye turnover, and Minnesota gets the ball. They lead by a couple, and they'd like to make it 4. Here they come. Way out front. Tucker now will set it up as he looks at the zone. Underneath, Brewer, nobody's got him, puts it up and in. Ends up that Huggins was on him, and Huggins was giving up a foot. Brewer just put it up and in. Minnesota's on top 25-21. Ohio State has no offense and has not since the opening couple of minutes. Ramsey out front. Into Ellinghausen, loses the ball. Picked up by Minnesota. They got 3-on-1. There's the layup. Basket, another one by Minnesota. Mark Hall, give it to him, and the Buckeyes take timeout. We started this ball game leading 7-0, and if you want to get your tablet and pencil out, you can find out how badly we have been scored since that point in time. Right now it's Minnesota 27, Ohio State 21. We'll be back in a minute. In the contest, that is Scott and Ramsey at the guards. On the backside, Smith and Herb and Special K. 27-21 Buckeyes have the ball. They're looking at that 2-3 zone defense, and it's pretty good size on that backside now. 6'11", 7'2", 6'7". Into Kellogg. He's got a jumper up. No. Gets his own rebound. Going to take it back. Yes. He's got this one up. No. Again, the ball is loose. It is out of bounds. And Hall is the last to touch it. Inbounds pass to Ramsey in the deep right corner out front to Carter Scott. Into the pivot. Jimmy Smith throws it away. Picked up by Minnesota. Here they come. We cannot handle the zone, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to have to get it together here quickly. Down comes Mitchell, down the lane's got a shot up off the glass. No good. Boy, he took it right to the hole. Rebound controlled by Minnesota, so they'll do it again. Mitchell just brought the ball down, thought he was going to set up. He just went down the key, laid it up, no good. Minnesota with a rebound out front. Now it is Tucker down the lane. He'll try it. Whistle and a foul. Carter Scott. 2 shots. His first foul, or else a 1-and-1. His first shot is up, down, no good, and Clark Kellogg rebounds for Ohio State. Kellogg brings it down. Goes into the corner left side to Carter Scott. Now back out front. We are working the perimeter of the zone, and anytime we try to get it inside, they take it away from us. Jump shot by Carter Scott, long range, and it is good. Now that'll break the zone pretty quickly. Scott with 6, and it's 27-23. Minnesota brings it down. McHale out front goes into the corner to Mitchell. Mitchell let a jumper up and in. Darrell Mitchell, a sophomore, just kind of got away from Clark Kellogg and fired one up and in. That's his first basket of the night, and it gives Minnesota a 6-point lead, 29-23. Buckeyes bring it down. And along the baseline to Kelvin Ramsey. He's going to take the jumper. He's got it up. It's in. Basket by Ramsey. Now that's going to beat his zone. Give it to him and let him fire it. 29-25, and they'll be out of it in a jiffy. 2 minutes, 35 seconds on the clock. Tucker goes to McHale, who's now way out on the wing. In along the baseline, it goes to Hall. Hall back out front now to Mitchell. Mitchell's got the jumper up. Off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound, Kelvin Ramsey. Buckeyes coming quick, but Minnesota is back quickly. Kelvin will take it into the corner and then bring it back out front on the dribble. Minnesota will drop back into that 2-3 zone. Buckeyes go to work. Kellogg now top of the key, looks inside. We have not utilized Herb Williams at all tonight. We got the ball to him 2 or 3 times. He did make some things happen. Carter Scott on the drive. Carter Scott on the drive has the ball stolen away, and then Jimmy Smith reaches in and tries to get it back. We'll see Ellinghausen quick now. Smith now with 3 personals. One more. 1-on-1 situation in effect. There's the next one up. It is also good. Carter Scott will bring it up with 1:55. Oh, he's going to be called for traveling. If he's not, he ought to be. Traveling called on Carter Scott, and he has had a couple of 2, maybe 3 straight turnovers for Ohio State. That time, he slipped bringing the ball down. He was going at 125 miles an hour. His feet couldn't keep up with it. And Minnesota has the basketball, and they'll try to widen their lead. Hall out front makes a move to the top of the key and goes in on the far side to Trent Tucker. Now to Howell, a big fella out front. Now to Mark. Mark Hall makes a move against Kelvin Ramsey, puts it up and in. It is good, and Ramsey is called for a personal foul. A great effort on the part of Mark Hall, a 6'2" sophomore. Foul shot, 3-point play now complete by Hall as he pops it right up and in. And Minnesota leads by 9. Hall now with 7. Ramsey in the near side to Kellogg, right back out front. Oh, going to throw it away, but Kelvin gets it back. Into Kellogg, he's got a jumper up and in. Basket by Kellogg, feed by Ramsey. 34-27. Kellogg now with 4. Here comes Minnesota. They break the Ohio State press without any problem. Tucker brings it down, takes it into the corner, and now brings it back out front. Near side, the basketball to Gary Holmes. Holmes looking in, would like to go to the big man. Now it is into McHale, who is out in front of the foul line. Makes a move against Herbie Williams. He's got 2. Beautiful move. That's the way we played when I played, boys. Take it to the hole. Oh, right down the lane. No finesse. Just strength, and that's basketball. 36-27. Herbie's still out the foul line. Minnesota on the steal. They came to play, folks. They're going to pin our ears back. There's another 2 for Minnesota. Steal in the backcourt. We went to sleep. Buckeyes went to sleep. 38-27. Minnesota on top. They're dominating the ball game.
John, you don't want to go in 11 points down on these Gophers at halftime. I'll tell you that.
No doubt about it. Kelvin Ramsey goes into Herbie Williams. He is fouled. Fouled by Gary Holmes. And that's the first right point we have had in a few minutes. Here we go. First one is up. Here comes the next one. A little off the front of the rim, no good. Elling after it for a minute. Saves it. Back to Herbie Williams. He's got a back jump shot up off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound, Minnesota. They can't get in control of it. The ball goes out of bounds. 4 seconds on the clock, and Minnesota's going to get it back. We got 2 Buckeyes on the court. Herbie Williams went down after it. Ellinghausen went after it, but nobody could find the handle. And 3 sophomores, a freshman and a senior. 4 seconds, there's the inbound pass, a shot at the buzzer off the glass. Oh, they make it. About a 35-footer. A 35-footer by Trent Tucker. When it goes well, it really goes well. Tucker with 2 seconds remaining off the glass from 35. Wow, Minnesota came down here. That's a long trip. They came to play. Ohio State's asleep. Minnesota 40, Ohio State 28. We'll be back with halftime festivities and a great guest in the fullback and all Big Ten performer, Paul Campbell, for the Ohio State Buckeyes. So we'll talk football a little bit at halftime, but right now we're going to pause for this 2-minute message. Take a look and see what the damage is here, folks. We're behind 40-28, and here's the way it looks. Trent Tucker is leading all scorers in the ball game. The fine guard for the Gophers has 4 baskets. He is 2 for 3 at the line, a total of 10 points in the first half. Kevin McHale has 8 points, 3 from the field, 2 from the line. Mark Hall, the other guard, has 3 baskets, 1 from the line, 7 points. And Gary Holmes has 4 and Zebedee Howell 6. Those are the starters for Minnesota. And off the bench, they've had a little help, as Daryl Mitchell has a basket for 2. And Randy Brewer, the big 7'2" center, has 1 basket, 1 for 2 at the line for a total of 3 points. That adds up to 40, and by the way, they came into the ball game averaging 80 points a contest, and they are right on schedule. For the Ohio State Buckeyes, we have had not much offense at all. We have scored a total of 28 points in the first half, and it has gone like this. Herb Williams leads Buckeye scores with 8. He has just 1 field goal, but is 6 for 8 from the free throw stripe, a total of 8 points. That leads the Buckeye scorers. Carter Scott has 3 baskets for 6 points. 3 Buckeye starters have 4 each. Kelvin Ramsey, 2 from the field. Jimmy Smith and Clark Kellogg also both from the field. Totals of 4 points. Ellinghausen off the bench had a tip for 2, and that is the entire Buckeye scoring. We have played 20 minutes of Big Ten basketball from St. John Arena in Columbus. It is Minnesota 40, Ohio State 28. Both teams getting some last-minute instructions from their coaches, and I would have to think that the Minnesota dressing room would have to be a bit jubilant, as they are really manhandling the number 2 team in the country. And believe it or not, they are shooting 60% from the field, almost 61% from the field. And I'm talking about the Minnesota Gophers, so that should come to a halt. Buckeye fans are on their feet. We're ready to get this one started. As time permits, we'll get a station ID your way, but as I say that, Minnesota controls the tip for the second time tonight. They have controlled both halves. Minnesota with the ball now shooting to the basket to the right of your radio dial. Out front it is Zebedee Howe giving the ball to Tucker. Buckeyes man-to-man. Tucker beats Carter Scott to the lane, puts it up, no good. Rebound by McHale, but he loses it off his leg and out of bounds. Out of bounds, and the Buckeyes will get it.
You're listening to the #1 sports voice in the area, WZLE, Lorraine.
Well, the Buckeyes get on the scoreboard first here in the second half of play as Carter Scott takes the ball full length, puts one up from 10 feet. It is 40-30. Minnesota brings it down. They go to McHale inside. He puts the shot up. It is no good. And then he goes back and up and over the back of the Buckeyes, Jimmy Smith and Herb Williams after his missed shot in close. He is called for a personal foul. That is his second. Scott down, gives it to Kellogg out front. Minnesota remains in that very good 2-3 zone defense. Jump shot by Kelvin Ramsey, no good. Rebound by Kellogg, and then he has the ball batted out of his hands by Trent Tucker. Buckeyes will maintain possession. They'll inbound it from underneath their basket. Buckeyes have picked up 2 of that 12-point deficit and have the basketball. Out front, Carter Scott with the ball. He'll set the offense. Gives to Kellogg, top of the key. In on the left side now to Kelvin Ramsey. Ramsey needs a little bit of help. They have not been able to get the ball to Herb Williams. Carter Scott, they try one in. Herbie does have it this time. Turnaround jumpers up. It is no good. Ball goes out of bounds. Touched last by Ramsey. And Minnesota will get it. And so the Buckeyes could not cash in on that trip down court, even though they had 2 chances.
I think that'll spell victory or defeat for the Buckeyes. John capitalizing on turnovers.
Here come the Minnesota Gophers. They bring it down. Shot taken out front by Hall. No good. Ball is loose. Picked up by Carter Scott. Buckeyes have the basketball. That ball was loose momentarily underneath, but Carter Scott came up with it. Scott now with 8 points. Tries to pass underneath. It is batted out of bounds. It went off the hand. It really did go off the hand of Howell, but the official underneath didn't see it, and he had to ask, and he got a few boos down below. But the Buckeyes will get possession once again underneath their basket. In it goes to Herbie Williams. He is doubled and maybe even triple teamed and is fouled in close. Neither team yet in 1-1. Inbounds pass to Ramsey, who has 4 points on the night, but he's only taken about 3 shots. Kelvin near side to Carter Scott. Takes it in on the left side, gets it off the glass. No, a little bit long. Rebound McHale, Minnesota. Outlet pass is stolen away by Carter Scott, but then stolen right back. Here comes Mark Hall down the lane. He's got a shot up. It is no good. Rebound taken underneath by Holmes. No good. Holmes again. Got it up. No good. Again, Minnesota back up and in. Minnesota takes 4 shots at the hoop. And believe it or not, Mark Hall is the fellow that scored. He is 6'2" tall. And the entire Buckeye squad was underneath. And when I say entire, Kellogg, Smith, and Williams were all there battling for the rebound. Minnesota had 4 shots at the hoop. They got the last one to drop. It's 42-30. Buckeyes bring it down. Into Kellogg to the baseline. Stops. His double team will bring it back out. Kellogg looking for help. Goes to Ramsey. Top of the key. Now to Carter Scott. In the pivot. Jimmy Smith. Turnaround jumpers up. No good. Rebound is batted out of bounds. I believe it'll go to Minnesota. Jimmy Smith made a nice effort to try to get it, but could not. They're just on the perimeter right now, and have been for about 12 minutes. 42-30. That goes back to 10 minutes in that last half. Inside, the basketball to Hall. Puts the shot up, blocked by Williams, but controlled by Minnesota. Blocked by Ramsey, but controlled by Minnesota. Ball pass, cross court, ends up in the hands of Howell. He'll bring it back out front to Mark Hall. Hall to Howell. Howell left side. Out front now to Gary Holmes. Into the pivot. McHale, turnaround jumpers up. No good. Rebound, Kelvin Ramsey. Ramsey's going to have to take over here, folks, before it gets too late. 42-30, we trail by a dozen. Kellogg on the drive, tries to get it to Jimmy Smith, just bounces it off his chest. Then comes up with it again. He'll take the shot himself. It is no good. Rebound, Jimmy back up and in. Basket by Smith, one of the bright points of the night. 6 points now for Smith, and we've got the Minnesota lead to 10. I'll tell you, nobody has gone away. They'll stay for a while. We got new lyrics to the song. We may not be able to use them. Into the corner, far side, Minnesota has the ball. Tucker will bring it back out front now to Hall. Hall has been a good one. Over to Holmes. He's got a jumper up and in. Holmes at 6'10", 220 pounds, a sophomore, hit that one from the top of the key. He had 6 points. Minnesota maintains the 12-point lead. It is 44-32. Ramsey down, gives it to Carter Scott. He's got a jumper up and in. Basket by Scott, 44-34. Scott now with 10 points for the Buckeyes. Hall brings it down, working against Ramsey. Goes into the corner, far side to Howell. Howell back out front. Holmes got a shot up and in. There he is again from out front now. He's playing 6'10" and out front. 46-34. Minnesota scoring every time they come down. Ramsey, top of the key. To Kellogg, back to Kelvin. Kelvin's got a jumper up. It's long. It's no good. Rebound, Clark Kellogg going to take it himself. No. Almost throws it away. Nice job by Kelvin to maintain possession. Into Kellogg. He's got a jumper up and in. Basket by Clark Kellogg. 46-36. Kellogg with a half a dozen. 15 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. That remains in the contest. Minnesota on top. They lead by 10.
Yeah, the Buckeyes are playing defense too far out the court.
All right, Tucker will get the ball. They'll take it inside to McHale. He is fouled by Herb Williams. Williams reaching across. He is the only Buckeye in real trouble. Inbounds pass to McHale. Got a shot up long. Hits the back plate. Bounces out of bounds. It is batted out of bounds by Jimmy Smith. Minnesota will get it. The fans don't like it at that end. We couldn't tell from here. Take his time, and Minnesota has plenty of time. They lead by 10. There's a drive. Kellogg will be called for a personal foul. Of course, the loss of that senior will be a dandy, too, to him. With the ball, Minnesota, and they'll become a little bit deliberate now, and they can afford to do so. They'll look for the good shots. They've got great quickness. With the ball out front, Holmes just barely got rid of it in the allotted 5-second time. Into McHale they go against Herbie Williams. McHale on a turnaround, got it up, blocked by Herbie. Controlled by Carter Scott, over to Kelvin Ramsey. We got an easy two. Kelvin Ramsey on a two-hand slam dunk, and that'll bring the fans to their feet. He now has 6 points on the evening.
Yeah, that's the first dunk he's done all year.
Buckeye fans are on their feet. They'd like to see him go. Look at him up. We got 13,000 on their feet. Minnesota goes to McHale. They got a shot up. It is no good. Kellogg on the rebound. No. Stolen away. Picked up by Howell. Back up and in. Kevin McHale will try to inbound the ball and does in the backcourt, this time to Trent Tucker. Well, now check it. It's a new player in the ball game, Carl Dale. Dale in the backcourt being picked up by Kelvin Ramsey. Dale goes into the pivot. McHale with that's Brewer with the basketball. In along the baseline and back out front it comes to Dale. Dale near side to Zebedee Howe. Into the pivot, the big fella. Brewer's got a shot up. No good. Herbie Williams on the Buckeye rebound. Gets it out to Kelvin Ramsey. Ramsey across the 10-second line. Buckeyes have the ball. They trail by 6. 11 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the game. On the far side, Carter Scott lost it momentarily, but now has it. Cross court to Marcus Miller. Now back out front to Ramsey. Ramsey to Miller. Miller will take the ball on the dribble. Inside, puts the shot up. Got it! Basket by Marcus Miller. A jump shot from the left of the key. 50-46. Buckeyes have closed the glass to floor. Got a whistle, got a foul. It's going to be on the Buckeyes for sure. And I believe Carter Scott came from behind and undercut number 30, Darryl Mitchell, on a layup attempt. There was no attempt really to it. It looked like a good downfield block. 51-46. Buckeyes trail by 5. Next foul shot is up. It is also good. 52-46. Ohio State will bring it back. Mitchell now with 4 points on the night. In the far side, Carter Scott. Now to Kellogg. Jump shot. Kellogg hits it. Clark Kellogg, 18-foot jumper just to the right of the key. Kellogg now with 10 and the Buckeyes within 4. 52-48. 10 minutes, 20 seconds now showing on the clock. Mitchell with a basketball way out front. He's going to have to get rid of it. Coming out to help him is Howell. Howell now gives to the new fella, Carl Dale. New only in the game. He's a junior, one of the upperclassmen on the team. Underneath, got a whistle and a foul. We got a foul, pushing off on Randy Brewer. It nullifies the basket. He pushed off Kellogg.
That's fourth, I believe. Isn't it for Brewer? No, second. I'm sorry.
Buckeyes trailing by 4. They go. Marcus Miller, who tries to get it inside, is batted away, and luckily it's picked up by Carter Scott. To Kellogg, who fires one, really forces one from about 22, no good. Rebound Minnesota. Bad shot by the Buckeyes that time. Again, they become deliberate out front with the basketball. Carl Dale. They go into the pivot, the big fella. Brewer right over Clark Kellogg. Brewer at 7'2", Kellogg 6'7", so there's a 5 or 6 inch height advantage to Brewer inside. That time he scored with a little bit of a hook. 7 points now for the big fella Brewer. Buckeyes bring it down, find themselves trailing by 6. Ramsey out front, top of the key. He had 6 points on the evening. Near side to Marcus Miller, baseline to Herbie Williams. He's got a jumper up and in. Basket by Herb Williams. Minnesota 54, Ohio State 50. Williams now with 12. Buckeyes with full court pressure, but now they lay off a little bit. We're in a little bit of foul trouble. Smith, who is on the bench with 3, Kelvin on the floor with 3. McHale with the ball. Stolen away by Carter Scott. Here come the Buckeyes back. They could cut the lead to 2. Carter on his own going to take it down. Got a whistle. And a foul. Looks like it's going to be on Daryl Mitchell. His second personal foul. Neither team yet in 1-1. And so the Buckeyes will get the ball just across the 10-second line. They're into the court.
John, outstanding defensive play by Carter Scott.
All right, Buckeyes will inbound the ball, and Ramsey has it on the top of the key. They go inside to Kellogg. Out to Carter Scott. He hits one. Carter Scott on a jump shot. It cuts the Minnesota lead to 2. Minnesota 54, Ohio State 52. Carter Scott now with 14. Carl Dale brings it down. Carter Scott batted it away, but it was controlled by Minnesota. Very close to a foul out front. To McHale. McHale goes baseline. There's a shot over to Brewer. Shot blocked by Herbie Williams. And Kelvin Ramsey. Wait a minute. Let's see. Has offensive goaltending has been called. Yes. Offensive goaltending called against Ohio State. Herbie Williams went high to block that one, but goaltending was called.
Wise call, too. Downward trajectory.
Here we come. Buckeyes bring it down, find themselves trailing by 4. Certainly a much better position than they had been in. Traveling called on Marcus Miller out front. Looking for somebody to throw it to, drags the pivot foot.
Buckeyes can't do that.
56-52. Ohio State puts on full court pressure. They beat the press, and Kelvin comes down to bat it out of bounds. A good defensive play by Ramsey, but actually his man, Mark Hall, has great quickness, does he not, Larry Bolden?
No doubt about it, John. He's a very quick player.
Inbounds pass. Minnesota has the ball. Tucker out front's got a jumper up and in and out. We got a break. That ball was in and then popped out. Herb Williams on the Buckeye rebound. Got it over to Marcus Miller. Now to Kelvin Ramsey, top of the key. Ramsey has not gotten into offense tonight. He's taken very few shots. He has 6 points on the evening. We mentioned that with 7:40 remaining in the fact that he has 75 consecutive games in scoring in double figures. With the ball underneath, they go to Herbie Williams. He's not going to get it. There's no handle on it. Herbie finally comes up with it, gets it out front. Marcus Miller now has it for Ohio State. Good effort on the part of Herb Williams. Back out front to Carter Scott. Carter having a little trouble holding on to it. He's dropped it the last 2 or 3 times. He's got the hold of it, but has found ways to control it or get it back. In the pivot, Kellogg, jump shot up, no good. Tipped up by Herbie, no good. Tipped by Kellogg, good. Got a whistle. Wait a minute. Got a whistle, and a foul. Looks like it is on Zebedee Howell.
I don't think that basketball will, number 32, John, Trent Tucker. I don't think that basket counts.
To draw the Buckeyes within 2. This one is up. It is good. 56-54. Williams with 14. Ball pass down court. Gophers get it down quickly, but then hold it up. Into the corner, far side, to Darryl Mitchell. Mitchell back out, top of the key, gives it to Holmes. Holmes, a big fella at 6'10", away from the hole. He's way out front. Underneath, man is open. Mark Hall's got a shot up, blocked by Herbie Williams. Controlled by Calvin Ramsey. The Buckeyes bring it down, trailing by 2. They could tie it with a basket here. Ramsey way out front. Minnesota zone sets up. Into the corner, right side to Carter Scott, and right back to Kelvin, who is in the deep side now. Back out front to Carter. Carter penetrates, got a shot up, in and out, no good. Tipped up and in by Kellogg, and they called it off. Tipped up and in by Kellogg, but they have called a personal foul pushing off. Kellogg had the tip in the hole, but was called for pushing off. We'd have had a tie ball game, but we do not. The Buckeye coaches are off the bench. That could certainly have gone either way, but it's certainly not a drastic call by any means. There's a steal. Buckeyes to the backboard. Over to Kelvin Ramsey on the drive. He's got it up and in. Ramsey scores, and the score is tied at 56 apiece. Minnesota 56, Ohio State 56. Ramsey now with 8 points. Mitchell brings it down. We're going to have another barn burner. In the corner, long shot, taken by Tucker, in and out, no good. Rebound, Marcus Miller. Over to Calvin Ramsey, the Buckeyes have the ball. We got 13,000 people on their feet. We have tied the score at 56-56, and we've got the basketball. Into the corner, they go to Calvin Ramsey. Minnesota in the zone. Into Herbie Williams. Turnaround jumper's up and in. Williams on a turnaround jumper puts the Buckeyes on top 58-56. The Buckeyes are on top with 5:44 remaining, and Minnesota wants timeout. Will not keep the boys down on the farm tonight. 5:44 remaining. We'll be back in a minute. When I say full court pressure, I mean with intensity. They're really after it now. 58-56. Minnesota across the 10-second line in the person of Mark Hall. Into the corner. Now it goes to Tucker. Tucker to the pivot. McHale. Turnaround is up. No good. Rebound in underneath by Mark Hall. 6'2", controls the board inside and gets the layup. We're tied at 58-58. 11 points now for Hall, a 6'2" guard who is doing a nice job on the boards. Kelvin Ramsey brings it down for Ohio State. Carter Scott, and now to Marcus Miller. Miller penetrates to the foul line, stops, and comes back out front now to Kelvin Ramsey. Ramsey goes to work, down the lane, stops, loses the ball, picks it up, got a jumper up, going to be long, no good. Kellogg back up and in. Basket by Clark Kellogg and a foul. Basket by Kellogg is good, and Trent Tucker is called for a personal foul. Well, Mr. Kellogg was not discouraged the last time with the personal foul, but he was right in there battling for that offensive rebound that time. Got it in, put it up and in.
John, he's really grown up as a ball player in the last, since we went into the Big Ten. He really and truly has. Gets better with each game.
Buckeyes lead 60-58. Foul shot is no good. Rebound controlled underneath by Gary Holmes. Under 5 minutes remaining. Into Kevin McHale. Turnaround jumper is up. No good. Rebound controlled by Herbie Williams. But he was actually battling Mark Hall in there for it. Across the 10-second line. We lead by 2. Would like to make it 4 into Herbie Williams. Off the glass. He's got it. Basket by Williams. Feed by Ramsey. And it's 62-58. Buckeyes on top. Clock moving. 4 minutes and 25 seconds remaining. Hall out front. Comes into the corner to Holmes. Holmes looks inside, would like to go to McHale and does. McHale, turnaround jumpers up, it's good. McHale on a turnaround. He faked Herbie out and was wide open. McHale now with 10. 62-60. Buckeyes are on top, 4 minutes. Now on the clock. That remains in the contest. Ohio State with a 2-point lead. Kellogg with a ball in the corner, left side. Looks into Herbie, not going to go. Behind the back dribble, didn't amount to much. Into the pivot, Herbie Williams. Turnaround jumpers up, off, no good. Rebound controlled underneath by the big fella Gary Holmes of Minnesota. Gophers bring it down, trailing by 2 with 3:40 remaining in the contest. Tucker goes into the corner to Howell, back out front. Holmes, jump shot, long, no good. Rebound controlled by Marcus Miller. Miller will bring it himself, but he looks down and there's nothing but Minnesota Gophers, so he holds it up. He was moving at a good clip, and all he had with him was Gophers. Buckeyes now set it with Ramsey top of the key. We could be a little tired. We have been playing with great intensity the last 7 or 8 minutes. Into Kellogg. He's got a jumper off the rim. No good. Rebound, Minnesota. Here comes a fast break. Is there a whistle? Yes. A whistle out front. A whistle out front nullifies. It nullifies a basket. A slam dunk by little 6'2" Mark Hall. And boy, does he play a lot bigger than 6'2".
About 6'5", 6'6".
3 minutes, 5 seconds on the clock. Hall with a basketball, checked by Ramsey. In on the near side to Holmes, who hands it underneath to Tucker. Got a whistle. A foul called on the backboard. It's called on Kevin McHale. Personal foul called on McHale for pushing off. That is his 4th personal. Williams' foul shot is up. It's short. It is no good. And McHale rebounds for Minnesota. So they bring it right back. And Minnesota wants timeout. As they cross the 10-second line, Mark Hall calls it. And with 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining in this contest, it's a turnaround. Ohio State 62, Minnesota 60. We'll be back in 1 minute. 62-60 Buckeyes lead it. Minnesota will inbound the ball at midcourt. And here we go. Clock moving with 2:50 remaining in the contest. Hall brings it down. He has been impressive tonight, a sophomore. On the far side, they give it to Gary Holmes. Holmes into the pivot. McHale right back to Holmes, and he'll bring it back out front. Underneath, nobody's got Tucker's got a shot up. It's going to be goaltending. Goaltending on Herb Williams. Goaltending on Williams. Tucker got wide open. He got away from somebody. We're tied once again at 62. This time at 62. Ramsey now with 8 points. Has not really gotten into his offense. And as I say that, he goes one-on-one against his opponent. He puts the shot up. It is no good, but he is fouled.
He almost made that shot.
The personal foul is going to be called on number 32, Trent Tucker. Ramsey will go to the line. Tucker picks up his 3rd. Ramsey will have the one-on-one opportunity. He'd like to have this one. Foul shot's up. Got it.
76, John.
64, 62. Ramsey now in double figures for 76 consecutive ball games. Ohio State leads by 2 with the basketball out front. Mark Hall, whistle foul. Let's wait and see. It is on Ramsey. It'll be his 4th. See that into Bloomington come March 1. Next foul shot by Mark Hall is up. It is good, and we are tied once again, this time at 64 apiece. Ramsey looking to go one-on-one against Trent Tucker, but we see McHale and the big fella Holmes kind of sloughing off down the lane. So we're not going to have any open lane, I don't think. Kelvin to the top of the key and then stops and brings it back out. 1:45. 64-64. Not much pressure now put on by the Gophers as now they get close. Kelvin out very close to the 10-second line. A mistake out there is very disastrous. Marcus Miller and Kelvin Ramsey with 1:25 remaining. Kelvin now over to Carter Scott. Carter to Ramsey, and they are playing with the basketball about 55 feet away from the hoop. And if they let one go astray there, it's all over. It's curtains. 1:10 now on the clock. Buckeyes with the basketball, and they are very deliberate. The big men, well, Williams and Kellogg might go to sleep on the backside. I hope they stay awake for the rebound. 1 minute remaining. We have frozen the ball for 1 minute out front. Marcus Miller with the ball, penetrates, gives the ball to Williams in the deep left corner. Williams looking for help, going to bring it back out front to Marcus Miller across court. 45 seconds on the clock remaining in the game. We're tied at 64. Carter Scott down the lane to Herbie Williams. Whistle and a foul. It's going to be on Mark Hall. It'll send Carter Scott to the line for Ohio State. Carter Scott to shoot 1-1. His first foul shot is no good. Rebound is loose, picked up by Minnesota. Minnesota has the basketball. 35 seconds remaining. 25 seconds remaining in the game. Minnesota certainly will go for the last shot. Near side to Mark Hall. Hall one-on-one against Carter Scott, not going to take it. Now to Tucker out front with 19 seconds, 17 seconds, 15 seconds remaining. Minnesota with the ball. They will get the last shot. They go to Kevin McHale in the middle against Herbie Williams. His turnaround is over. It is up. It is no good. Rebound by Carter Scott. After Herbie Williams. Herbie Williams is going to get it to Kelvin Ramsey. There's a shot at the buzzer. No good. We're going to take this one to overtime. Kevin McHale had a turnaround jumper from 18 feet. He took it too early. Dutcher is unhappy. The rebound came to Carter Scott with about 6 seconds remaining. They threw it to Herb Williams. He was completely lost. He did not know what to do. He stopped. He looked around. He looked at the basket. He was about 75 feet away. Gave it to Ramsey, who let one go from 60 feet. And had we called timeout, I'm not real sure that we may not have gotten a decent shot. All right, no more second guessing. Here we go. Tip to the start. The overtime was controlled by McHale, but Carter Scott stepped in front of Trent Tucker, and we have the basketball. First time on a center tip tonight. We're in overtime. This is 5 minutes. Clock is moving. We're tied at 64. Into the pivot, Herbie Williams. Jump shot. Beautiful pass by Kellogg. Kellogg hits Williams inside for two. Slam dunk, and we're up 66-64. Here comes Minnesota. They're on the short end of a 2-point deficit. Looking to McHale inside. They're not going to go. Herbie checking McHale. Fouls could play a very important part in the ball game. A couple of key players with 4. Way out front, Trent Tucker with a basketball. Tucker looking. In on the far side. The give is to Howell. Makes a move to the lane. Puts it up. It is good. Howell on a good drive along that left baseline. Got in tight and put it up and in. Howell now with 10 points, and we are tied at 66-66. Ramsey brings it down into the pivot. Kellogg, turnaround jumper off the glass, no good. Rebound, Carter Scott. Carter out front. Marcus Miller travels. Traveling on Miller will give the ball to Minnesota. Marcus Miller had quite an impact on this basketball game, coming in to replace a foul-plagued Jimmy Smith, and has had another good evening, but that was not one of the bright points of it. We're tied at 66 apiece as Tucker brings it down for Minnesota. Into the corner, far side, Hall making a move against Carter Scott's got a shot up, no. Rebound is tipped out front. Going to be a call on Marcus Miller. Personal foul on Miller, going after Tucker in a loose ball near midcourt. So this is going to take Tucker to the foul line to shoot one. McHale back up and in. McHale on the rebound ties the score at 68-68.
John, he is just absolutely super.
Well, he was in the right place at the right time that time. Looking down at the hole and stuffed one through. Ramsey brings it down, goes to Carter Scott. Into Kellogg, and now back out to Ramsey. 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the game. We're tied at 68 apiece. Kelvin Ramsey down the lanes. Got a shot up. It's in! And there's a whistle and a foul. Good. A foul on Gary Holmes. Good effort by Kelvin Ramsey as he started to come left, reversed, and stopped at the key and laid it in. It was a jump shot over the outstretched hands of 6'5" Trent Tucker. Tucker was called for a personal. Buckeyes go on top 70-68, and now Kelvin Ramsey could put another nail in the coffin. 12 points now for Ramsey. He could make it 13 with this. It is up. It is good. Ohio State 71, Minnesota 68, and the Buckeyes want timeout. 1 minute, 58 seconds remain in this contest, and we'll be back with more from St. John Arena in Columbus. It's Big Ten basketball at its best right after this message. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the game. Buckeyes with a 3-point lead. We're in overtime. With a basketball for Minnesota, Mark Hall top of the key, comes to Tucker right side. Around the horn, it ends up to Zebedee. Back out front to Mark Hall. Hall to Zebedee Howell. Inside they go to McHale. Ball batted away. It goes out of bounds. And the Buckeyes will get it. Zebedee Hall, the last one to touch it, and Ohio State will get the basketball. 1 minute 33 remaining in this basketball game. And the Buckeyes are going to get it on a bit of a foul up. They got it into McHale, and he lost it for a moment. When Howell came over to pick it up, he lost it out of bounds. Buckeyes will get it, and Minnesota will be in very tight man-to-man pressure all over the court. Inbounding the ball, and the inbounds pass comes to Kelvin Ramsey in the backcourt. He waves everybody up, and he said he'll bring it himself. Behind the back dribble and across the 10-second line. He does it against Tucker. Way out front, 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining. Carter Scott to Kelvin. Kelvin down the lane is going to stop and then bring it back out front. To Marcus Miller and now to Carter Scott. Carter Scott on the penetration and now to Kellogg. 1 minute 10 and Kellogg throws it away, but Kelvin Ramsey comes up with it. Ramsey with a basketball back to Miller. We had a bad, but we've got the ball. Kelvin Ramsey down the lane is going to stop, not take the shot, goes into the corner to Williams and back out to Kelvin. Kelvin to the foul line and back out to Marcus Miller. Less than a minute now remaining. Ohio State 71, Minnesota 68. Fans are on their feet and there's a foul. Personal foul called on Trent Tucker. Personal foul is on Trent Tucker. And Kelvin Ramsey will go to the line to shoot 1 and 1. And Minnesota wants timeout. 48 seconds remaining. Buckeyes will go to the foul line when play resumes, and that will be in 1 minute right after this message. He eyes the hoop. Was the foul shut up? It is in and out. It is no good. This one is not over, folks. Don't go away. 45 seconds remaining. Minnesota brings it down. Out front, Carl Dale, who came in at the timeout. Just a little fella at 6 foot. In a lot of big, tall trees out there tonight. 35 seconds. Dale down the lane. He's got a shot up off the glass. No good. Herb Williams on the Buckeye rebound. Whistle and a foul is on Kevin McHale. McHale called for a personal foul on the rebound, and that'll be his 5th. 5 fouls on McHale. Williams, when he had to go to the board, did very definitely go to him. He has 22 points on the evening, and Williams now comes over and congratulations McHale on a good game, and then returns to the foul line down at the other end of the court.
Can't get that lead.
Williams is up. It is good. They sure did have the lead in the first half. They led 7-0. After that, yeah. But then they got put away somehow. We got the foul shot down. It is 72 to 68. Next foul shot by Herb Williams is up. It is also good. This one belongs to the Buckeyes. There's a shot up. It is no good, and Williams again with a rebound, stolen away. Ball is loose, going to be picked up underneath by Trent Tucker. We got a whistle, and goaltending is called. Goaltending against Williams the 3rd time tonight. 3rd time tonight, goaltending has been called, and the time has run down to 16 seconds. Ohio State Marcus Miller looking for help, gets it into Carter Scott. He is double-teamed in the backcourt. Back to Miller. Miller across the 10-second line. 10 seconds into the corner to Kellogg. Kellogg holding the ball. 8-5. They're still in the zone. They're not going after him. Herbie Williams got a shot up. It is good. Basket by Williams. Ohio State 75. That basket is good. Ohio State 75. Minnesota 70. The buzzer sounds. And the Buckeyes have posted their 5th victory in succession in Big Ten play and remain undefeated. And here it is. Here's the song. The Buckeyes will shine tonight. The Buckeyes will shine when Herbie slams and Jimmy jams. The Buckeyes will shine. Hey, we'll be back here at St. John Arena to recap tonight's basketball game, give you the individual scoring, and have comments from both Scott Wallace and Larry Bolden. And the Buckeyes have raised their record to 12-1. It was a scare. We are undefeated 5-0 in a conference, and we'll be back to talk about it right after this 2-minute message.